Welcome to Comfort Time with Auntie Unike, where we share testimony stories. Today's story is it love? Is it respect for me or for what I have to offer? I'm going to share a story that brought my friend's reality to a halt because of what she experienced. And this is a story where my friend fortunately was doing very well. Her business was doing very well. You know, when you maybe in a family you are the one who is blessed and you are able to identify businesses that work. You are one who is able to help the family every time there are issues, and everybody just accepts that that's your role. You too accept it as your role, as something that you just have to do because you've been blessed the most. So she took this role very seriously and she helped everybody in the family. She was there for everyone and she loved doing that, and her business was always thriving. Her husband on the other side was not very sure about her doing so much for the family, because she was really going way out. Every time there was like a funeral, she was the one funding it. If there was a wedding, she was the one funding it. If there are even family meetings, they would call on her to be there and to be able to fund if they are going to have snacks for the funeral, if they are going to have snacks for a meeting, whatever is happening, she came through and supported the family completely. And of course, she was loved and appreciated, and she just took her position in the family as what it was, not so much according to her because of what she was providing, but just because she was a member of the family, and when you are blessed, that's what you do. Her husband tried to caution her to say she should let other family members also participate, and that doing everything every time just makes everybody else feel like they are not contributing and it's not a good idea. But she ignored him, and she ignored advice from even other people who felt that she was doing too much, because she felt, look, I've been blessed. I've got all this wealth and I'm making it every time, so why shouldn't I help? But then COVID hit. When COVID hit, things started not working so well for her. She was into events, she was into catering, and you know what happened during that period? People were not having such functions anymore, and so her business started to suffer. So now she started explaining to the family that I'm having a hard time, I'm not able to support the family as much as I did. I'll do what I can for now, but I may not continue at the same level as I've done before. Of course, the family didn't understand. Some members did, but most of them were like, yeah, she's just become tight-fisted. She's just decided to be mean this time around. So how can she say that? She's been making money and she's got a lot of money saved up. Why can't she continue? So she tried to explain, but she didn't get any good feedback, as it were. Some pretended it was fine. Some were happy she was having a hard time because, you know, issues of envy. As I did in one video, I explained about envy, and you see that in the links, one of the links. So she didn't mind, she continued. And so what happens next? She tells them, I'm sorry, this time now I'm really in a bad place and I cannot contribute as much. She was able to send talk time to one or two people who needed it, but now she could not send monies in the amounts that they were used to. So what happens? One of her cousins, who was envious of her position in the family, decided, yeah, so now she's broke. Now it's my turn to shine in the family. So he called a meeting and of course didn't invite her, and explained to the family that, look, we are on our own. It looks like our funder is no longer interested in us as a family, so we have to do these things on our own. So he came up with a suggestion, and if you ask me, that should have been a suggestion even when the lady was supporting them. He suggested that each member contribute something when they have a problem, when they have a funeral, when they have a wedding, when they have family meetings. And those who are not able to contribute cash can contribute in kind. And so everybody thought it was a good idea. And some of them even suggested that on a monthly basis, they could contribute something small to the account for the family. And that's what started to happen. And so they started contributing, and when they had like a marriage in the family, they were able to tap from that same account, and others would contribute what they could, and they would have their wedding. When there's a meeting, the same happened. When there's a funeral, the same happened. So now what happened was that the time that her husband had a contract in the village, she decided, okay, now that my husband is going to my area for his business and we're using company transport, I think it will be easier for me to now take the chance to go and visit my family. Because for 2 years, she hadn't really been around the family. She was very happy that nothing was happening that needed her contribution. The family was quiet. They didn't tell her they were desperate for anything. So she just thanked God that things were going well in their family. And she thought, this time, let me just go and be around them and explain to them that things seem to be opening up a bit now, but I'm still in a difficult place. But as soon as things pick up, I'll be able to inform the family, and then we can continue where we left off. But to her surprise, when she went to visit her family, they told her this person had gotten married, this child is now in the university, this person died, and so there was so much that had been happening in those 2 years, and she was not aware of any of it. This made her so sad, because before, nothing happened in the family without her being consulted. Anything that, even the children, she educated so many of her sisters, her cousins, her children, as she was educating her own. And those are the people who now, some of them, they even went to university, some were married, some had even divorced, and she was not aware. No one took the time to tell her. This made her really sad. So she said, but how did this happen? I've not heard of any of these things. And she was really hurt. So the cousin who had taken up that space was so cruel. He came and told her, my friend, so you thought you were very wise, right? My friend, you were asked for everything because you were funding everything that was going on in the family. It's not that you are wise or anything. You were rich. You were able to fund meetings, funerals, weddings, so why wouldn't we get in touch with you? Now let us know now that you are broke. Why would we, if we tell you, what are you going to do? You told us yourself that you don't have money, that your business is not doing well. So why do we have to tell you? She said, but all I needed was for you to inform me as part of the family. I'm still a member of the family, whether I'm not making money as much as I was before, I'm still a part of the family. I said, well, we didn't find it necessary to inform you. So yeah, things have been happening. We have this account. If you want, you can contribute to it. But otherwise, yeah, the family has continued after you were not able to fund the functions in the family. She said, okay, but she was really hurt. So she went and explained to her husband. She was in tears. He was able to comfort her. He didn't tell her, I told you so, but she told herself, I told you so. because now she was able to remember, you know, all the advice that the husband had given her. And this can happen to any of us. Sometimes it's even, you invest so much. Sometimes it's in your children, sometimes it's in your community. Always be conscious that when you give, you should give because you have been blessed and you want to give. Don't give because you're expecting that the people will love you, because in some cases, yes, they will, but make sure that they are not loving you for what you're giving. Make sure they are loving you for who you are, because of the person that you are. And I'm not saying here that we should stop giving and that we should always look at every situation as something where people are out to get you. No. Just be conscious that you should give because you are able, you have been blessed, and you want to. And don't overdo it in such a way that when you are not able to provide, people now think you are doing it because you have changed your mind about that family, that community, that society. You make them understand that I can still continue at this level, but only not at the level that you expect. I hope this helps you to gauge when you are dealing with family, community, and society. Thank you for listening. If you have already subscribed, thank you. If you haven't, please do. And also remember to like and share. Comfort Time continues. Stay blessed. See you in the next video.